Give me a quick cheers. I turned 29 last week. I have one more year in my 20s. And if I've learned anything in my dumb life, it's that your thoughts turn into your reality. And if you just sit there and you're sad and depressed, and even if you feel that way, but you broadcast out into the world, that's all that's going to happen. So if you can find some way to get out of bed, make your bed, take a walk, call somebody that loves you, you're going to feel better and you're going to do great things. And I believe in you.
I'm not crying. You're crying. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Customer Engagement
Hey.
Lab. What is up? Patrick Downs and I have some big news. First of all, you had a birthday.
Oh, you remembered.
You had a birthday. You turned 29, right?
29.
My man, the big 29. And I got a promotion. So this podcast, it's working, man.
This is the whole point. It was to get me one more year in my life and to get you promoted.
That's exactly true. So to celebrate both of those achievements, I got a little something for you.
I almost didn't believe you when you said there was a surprise. I thought you were just going to do something horrible to me. Oh.
I got a little Moet popping here. A little
God.
Champagne. This was actually gifted to me by my boss. So shout outs, Bethany. Thank you for the champagne. But, I thought we could have a little celebratory toast. I got a little glass.
That's cute.
They're wine glasses, but yeah. So.
Whoa!
Hey, opa!
Opa!
All right. So definitely gonna get a lot of bubbles here, but that's okay.
Sean's on an interview.
Sean is interviewing a candidate in this apartment that we're recording in, so shouts out to that candidate. Sorry you can't sit with us.
Hope you get the job.
Hope you
I'm
get
rooting for you.
Hope you get the job.
Wow.
Cheers, man. Love you. Happy birthday.
Love you too, man. Thank you very much.
Okay, so to open up this show, today we're going to be talking about B2B content. Why is it so safe and boring all the time? And to kick it off, I came across this TikTok that I'm going to show you real quick.
You know I like to talk.
A commercial for a new tech device. I'm looking for an ad that's fun.
That's cool. That's edited way too fast.
Fast.
With a lot of lines repeated a bunch, just like that.
Like that.
And starring young professionals with creative jobs.
Jobs you're not even sure exist.
I'm a wicker weaver.
I'm looking for a commercial that uses words like now.
Emotion.
Global.
Spoken totally out of context.
Or in unison while laughing.
I want an ad with diversity. Because it doesn't matter if you're a guy,
Or a girl.
white, or black.
I want to see lots of small business men and women, like architects.
Bakers. Or at least someone holding a baguette, like me.
Most of all, I'm just looking for a good product. Shop. No, one with kids. Cute kids, though.
Hey guys, can you see me? Hi, I miss you.
That's what'll get me to buy a smartphone.
Or a wearable computer.
Or a website that finally puts me in the driver's seat.
Whatever that means.
And a logo without text.
Accurate.
Very
Very accurate.
hell, right?
I don't watch a lot of television anymore, but I did watch the Oscars
Oh, I did too.
on Sunday. We definitely need to do an Oscar corner, but I forgot about commercials. I was like, wait a second. I thought commercials are just banner ads on Twitter.
I saw some good ones too.
Yeah, some pretty good ads, and they're all like that.
When it comes to content marketing, let's start here with Panadox content marketing. So we're trying to break away from the boring, safe, predictable model of feature dumping our B2B software down people's throats. Our approach is a little bit in flux right now, I would say, being on the content marketing team. But in the last 12 months, we've decided that we're going to expand our efforts based on what we're seeing. And what we're seeing is basically when we track who's converting and how they're converting, we're seeing big upticks in YouTube. So people that are, like we talked about on our episode with Sergey, people wanting to self-serve, they search YouTube for answers to their questions of how to do stuff. And then they go from YouTube to the website and convert. And so we're seeing an uptick in our demand gen efforts there. And we have, besides this podcast and a few videos here and there, we haven't invested a lot of time or resources into YouTube. Only recently, again, like in the last 12 months, have we started to do paid advertising on YouTube with my dumbass in videos. And hopefully soon your dumbass in videos.
Ooh. Spoiler.
And we're seeing some small, not significant decreases in organic search conversions. So again, when you look at the big picture trends, that gives you a trajectory in marketing of like, all right, if we're starting to see like a little bit of a plateau in organic search, it's just getting harder and harder to compete in organic search. And again, the only reason we're successful is because we started it 5 years ago. If you're a company right now listening to this, go listen to Chris Walker's Demand Gen podcast, listen to 5 episodes, and you'll understand exactly why he doesn't invest in SEO. And all of his investment is into organic content conversions, which are usually untrackable, right? Like you just don't have an attribution tool. I'm not going to pretend to be Chris Walker and go down that route. All of this is to say that we're still doing SEO, we're still doing webinars, we're still doing ebooks, we're still doing partner content, different initiatives with friends at Vidyard, Chili Piper, HubSpot, Salesforce, you name it. We're working with a lot of folks to still, focus on specific items, specific pieces of content, building it in an authentic way. But we are starting to do more of the very first episode of this podcast. You and I started to talk about like how Panadoc is trying to shift away from just the safe, what I call boring but necessary content, and to do it in some newer, more interesting ways that build what Wistia calls brand affinity. And I'm going to show you 2 videos at some point. But then now I'm going to stop talking and let you talk.
What is my major takeaway from this?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem with the demand gen strategy is it's a product-led growth strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to get people to just convert on your website. It's not a great sales strategy because as somebody that's taken those leads, someone that was looking for a template for a construction business that has one person on it is not the kind of person we want to spend sales resources on.
Absolutely not. That's a complete waste of fucking time. When a content lead only converts 1% of the time, that's a joke, dog.
Yeah.
Only should Panadoc sales employees be focused on people who have raised their hand and requested a demo.
But even then
they still suck.
A lot of times it's like a one-person company because that's what those kinds of contents attract.
Right.
And obviously, like that strategy propelled Panadoc forward.
Yeah.
There was enough good stuff that it was worth it. But at a certain point, it becomes an issue because you don't have an ICP anymore. They kind of choose you, and you have zero control. And then it's like, okay, now we have 25,000 customers, and half of them are one users, and we have to pay support people to handle all of them, and customer success people and infrastructure people, and it starts to hurt the business. It's like you have to go to a certain point. Like we can't just go for volume.
Mm-hmm.
We need to attract a certain kind of person, which is like we're bringing in ABM and more targeted efforts now. I think that will help that. But when you look at our customer list, it's like, oops, a little bit in some ways, because you can look at the bottom half if you sort by like paid seats, and we have like 10,000 people paying us for one seat, and like thank you. But at the same time, it goes, how do you scale a business that way? I'm not going to be able to hire enough people to handle all of you, or build infrastructure that will support all your documents.
There's a lot of companies that have done it.
You have to take more funding. That's the issue. Is like companies that grow like that with very transactional sales need to get hundreds of millions of dollars from venture capitalists to hire enough support people, customer success, and build out the product the right way.
Yeah.
And then with infrastructure, as far as like storage of everything, you then need to build that from the ground up. You can't just fix that, right? You have to like redo it.
So how does boring and safe B2B content play into this conversation?
Well, I mean, that's where that led us.
The boring and safe
yeah,
content
just
is
like
where it led us?
It led us to this, where we have a bunch of one users because we were just trying to convert people that were looking for a template or that were looking for advice on something. We weren't targeting it the right way because it was so simple and broad. When you go specific and like more complex, that's when you get the audience you want.
Okay. So what does if we don't want to just do boring and safe content, what's the alternative? You're saying targeted. I've tried to lean more towards entertaining, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't necessarily guarantee you more seats, more enterprise clients. I mean, not that I've ever seen any study that shows, yeah, do more funny commercials and you'll have more enterprise clients. Like, no, that's not how it works.
It's a brand play.
What I do believe in is the idea that I talked about. Wistia coined that term, I'm pretty sure, brand affinity. Like showing up everywhere all the time, kind of being in your face, having obviously the product and feature set that can deliver for an enterprise client. But I think there are a couple of our peers in the B2B SaaS space that are doing content right. Can I show them to you?
Let's do it.
All right. This first one up is our good friends at Chili Piper.
All right, we're going to launch our integration with HubSpot this week. Each month, we've been DQing over $100,000 in inbound pipeline just because we don't have this integration.
I think Chili Piper integrating with HubSpot would be, I don't know, like the chef's kiss, if you will, of revenue tech. But how do you think we should let people know about the integration?
Hear me out. HubSpot is a Boston-based company.
Just a little bit.
What if
Talking about some HubSpot, baby, Scooter.
They're big on
I need some HubSpot, baby, come on. I want some HubSpot, baby, Scooter. It's true that HubSpot's better with Chili. Come on.
So here we are trying to park the car in Harvard Yard. Harvard Yard?
That's a future guest.
Harvard Yard?
Harvard Yard.
Harvard Yard.
Harvard Yard. I don't like driving.
Come on. There you go. Yes. Yes. You've got. Ah!
I hit that.
He really is bad. Dan, your mirrors are out. Driving illegally. That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Let's get a fast forward.
You guys are awesome. We can't wait to celebrate with you.
Okay, Seth. Well, I guess it would be a shame to let it all go to waste. Well, I think more people definitely know about our HubSpot integration now.
Are you sure?
Yes. Also, I'm sorry about your car.
It's okay.
Sweet HubSpot.
Wow.
Yeah, so a fun video, right? Like, it's rare you'll get me to watch an entire 3-minute video, to be honest. This one had me captivated the whole time. I loved the music. So yeah, I think this is a good example of creating fun content to build that brand affinity, that trust, that rapport with your community, that you're a well-liked company.
You know what's really cool about their content is it's different people every time you see a video. Like they had a holiday video, I think, that had a bunch of people like playing music.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 12 different people. Their next video is like 5 different people. And even when I hear about their training, like people take turns internally giving trainings. So the cool thing about Chili Piper is they're empowering their employees to be a part of the marketing and to be a part of the training. And like they're doing it with leadership instead of leadership doing it to them or marketing doing it to them.
Dude, that's the problem.
Which is so cool.
That is the problem we have. I am in every goddamn video for Panadoc. And it can't just be me.
It's like, where's Reed? Right?
Reed.
Come on, Reed, hit us up, man.
I can get you a wig with dreadlocks if that makes you more comfortable to get on camera.
You can grow it back out.
He's like, bro, you never asked me to be on camera.
But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is I think Chili Piper understands personal brand marketing a lot better than most companies, where a lot of old companies are like afraid of empowering their people to be active in the marketing. It's like, oh, what if they say the wrong thing or do this? You got to let go and just trust that you hired them for a reason and let them go and be a part of the whole thing.
Easy for you to say, not the CEO of a publicly traded company. You have FCC regulations. All right, this next one, dude, I think you're really going to like. So you can throw those headphones back on. And I know you're a sucker for ASMR.
DTC subscription e-commerce.
We're going on an adventure. One of ROAS. Unboxings.
Nice.
Your new customers falling in love with your products. FP.
Yes.
a drink. And join us this Thursday for a new show where we study the retention strategies of brands like Billy, Black Rifle Coffee, Quip, Ritual. Don't let your customers slip through your fingers.
Oh my God.
Subscribe today.
Wow. Those for a podcast?
So Profitwell is a company that does content really, really well. They have a feature show. Go check out Profitwell, guys, if you're listening to this. They've got a really cool show called Pricing Page Teardown. And they've been doing the show for I think 3 or 4 years. And it's with the CEO of Profitwell. Content that should not make sense, but it does. And this is really at the heart of what I wanted to talk with you about. Because everything that we do in marketing has to have a reason. It has to be trackable. It has to be, it has to have attribution. We have to be able to tie it to revenue. But content sometimes it should not make sense, but it takes off, and it does, and it goes viral. And I'm going to have you pop on the headphones one more last time. I'm not going to make you watch the entirety of these videos. He's ice skating across a frozen pond in Norway, chugging vodka in his underwear, ice skating. It has 16 million views, Patrick. It's so intentional.
Good way to pause.
So, and then there's one more. That's content, in my opinion, that doesn't make sense. It should not make sense, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to bring on our guest in just a moment here. Patrick, you always have such good closing remarks. You want to sum up what you're feeling, what you're thinking for the audience about this episode so far?
Give me a quick cheers. I turned 29 last week. I have one more year in my 20s. And if I've learned anything in my dumb life, it's that your thoughts turn into your reality. And if you just sit there and you're sad and depressed, and even if you feel that way, but you broadcast out into the world, that's all that's going to happen. So if you can find some way to get out of bed, make your bed, take a walk, call somebody that loves you, you're going to feel better and you're going to do great things. And I believe in you.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
We'll both cry.
Hope you enjoyed the rest of the interview. We had an awesome guest come on. And we'll see you all soon. Kisses.
Kisses.
Toodles. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Travis Tyler, here, Customer Engagement Lab, with my beautiful, amazing, now 29-year-old co-host, Patrick Downs, and our beautiful, amazing, wonderful, talented sommelier, HubSpot amazing friend, Margot Mazur. Thank you so much for being on the show, Margot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a great introduction, Travis. It made me dance. I was just like, damn, this intro's got music to it.
I'm just so excited because I genuinely admire the two of you, but so much, and I just love introducing people that I'm like, they're gonna become friends. This is going to happen. So
I feel like I want to reach across the screen and give or shake a hand here.
Like a little high five, like a little
one of these
fist bump. All right, cool. So the Customer Engagement Lab is a podcast where we talk about all sorts of silly things. But one of the reasons I wanted to bring you on is we're going to go through just a series of questions to talk about what sorts of outreach or engagement you've seen, what kind of stuff you've bought in both your professional life and in your personal life. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to throw the first question at you, and you answer. The only requirement I have is that you answer as honestly as possible.
Oh boy.
Which is, what is the most creative sales or marketing outreach you've ever received besides the invitation I sent you to the show? Why did you like it? Or why did you not like it?
It's a really tough question. The invitation that you sent me for the show, I know I'm like not supposed to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about it. It was awesome, right? I mean, you did a video. It was really personal. It was really like funny and authentic. And you had all the stuff that I needed to know for the show, which was great. And I actually laughed out loud. Like I watched the video and I literally laughed, which is like, you can't really say that a lot for other, intros for asking me to do stuff. It's hard to say like what's the most creative one that I've seen, because I do get hit up from time to time to do like podcasts or, calls or like whatever it is. And I really cannot think of one where I've been like, oh, this is cool. Like they're all extremely, extremely boring. I feel like most of the time it's just, hey, I found you on LinkedIn and, can you do this thing? And I'm just like, I don't know who you are. I don't know why I should do this. This is coming out of nowhere. And, this is boring and like this sucks, frankly. I feel like the only times where I have been like, okay, like someone actually put in a little bit of effort to find me or ask me this thing is when they do make a video, and whether that's like a Loom or a Soapbox or whatever software folks are using. I think that has been engaging because it's like, oh, this person really took the time out of their day to like do this for me, and that feels nice. But a lot of those too are templates. They're like video templates, and you're like, okay, so you just popped my name on this sheet of paper that's like, Margot, will you help us? Have you seen those?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I actually
was
was talking about that with our podcast producer yesterday, because I was telling her it takes me about an hour to make each one of those invitations for our guests to come onto the show, and I'm like, and we're starting to fall behind, like, and we're always rushing to like, publish these episodes. Yeah. And she's like, well, how can we scale it? Maybe you can use a template. And I was like, and then we both paused, and she was like, it's going to take away from the authenticity of the outreach.
100%. Like that authenticity is what really grabbed me. I was like, oh my God, he's like making this video really just for me. And that is special, and I feel like in tech, there's a lot of templates, right? And there's a lot of like quick and easy, like go and get it, right? That we're yearning for some of that authenticity. And especially when that person in the industry. I mean, me and you have known each other now for like 3 years or something, maybe more than that. That's special.
So I got a question.
I think, go ahead, Patrick.
What do you think it's going to take to get people away from templates? It seems like there's like an addiction to templated outreach. You have sequencers like SalesLoft and Outreach that are unicorns now. Like, how do we get away from this?
Templates can be so helpful, and I don't want to like bash templates, right? Templates can be helpful. They can be great. They can be really easy to use and have just the right amount of information in there. So I don't want to like bash templates entirely, but I think that we are in a place, and I feel like we've been saying this for a while. I feel like we are in a place where we're yearning for more personal connection in the work that we do. What's it going to take? I don't know, maybe seeing a success rate that's higher for those personal connections, personal messages than for the templatized ones. But until that changes, like, I don't see that changing.
I think I have to agree there, Patrick. I hate to boast my success rate on bringing podcast guests, and it's easy when I have like Margot as my friend, but for people that don't know me, like, soon we're going to have some people on from other companies, and they're like, who the heck is this kid? My success rate is so far for every personalized invite I send out, I'm at 100%. So
there you go.
But you're still using a template, right? I mean, you're just filling in and freestyling within certain areas. And in my opinion, that's where we have to compromise. Be like, okay, you have a shell in your sequencer, but there's areas where you have to freestyle and do your own thing and personalize. I think some people do that, but it's not good.
Well, it takes a certain type of character, right? You have to be like comfortable with it and practice and like really get to know that person a little bit to know what they're going to respond to. Like not everyone is going to respond in the same way that I responded to your video, right? Each person has a different personality, and you have to kind of go after that.
Yeah, and I think to like thinking more from the marketing side, like Margot, looking at your role at HubSpot, you're in strategic partnerships. How and like that's how we met, right? Like we did a strategic partnership on some content materials between Panadoc and HubSpot that were like pretty dang successful. And I'm actually working on a project right now with your video team, which is cool. But yeah, like, do you see in like partnership outreach that a place where they could improve, or like what works like when you're...
Yes. That's a great question. So my role is a little bit different now in that I work with a very specific set of partners today. But in the past, when I was doing co-marketing for like everyone, all of our HubSpot partners, folks would definitely reach out and say, hey, we want to partner with you. And at HubSpot, we do really try to make sure that there's an opportunity for everyone. So if there wasn't an opportunity right away, we would find maybe there's something down the line or whatever it is. But having said that, the best emails that came in for me were the ones that had everything I needed right away. So the least successful emails are, hey, we would love to partner with you. What do you think? I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. Like, I don't know anything about your situation or why it matters or why it's interesting to my customers or whatever. The most successful ones were, hey, we would love to partner with you. Here are 3 ideas that we have. Here's how we think that they're going to perform. Here's how we would distribute them. Here's why it matters right now, right? That is going to get my attention, and I'm going to be like, wow, okay, like these people did their research. They're really interested in HubSpot. They're not just blasting out emails to every partner under the sun. These people took the time out to really think about this. Like, let's see what they got. And, I'd be like, absolutely, let's jump on a call and figure it out.
Dude, that's so... Okay, that is so huge and critical. And it's something we haven't really talked about on the show, Patrick, is like when a company is reaching out to another company, like I get hit up all the time to work on co-marketing initiatives. And I need to see that you've done more like legwork, that you're going to make this easy for me. It's almost like when you're messaging your boss and you're like, hey, boss, I want to make sure that I know your time is precious. And you're very important to me, so I'm going to just make this so easy for you to look at and like give me immediate feedback, a yes or no. And I think like that's kind of what you're getting at here. And we don't talk about that enough on the show, Patrick, about outreach. It's always like an ask, how to creatively like make noise and get somebody's attention. But it's like, what about the next steps, dude? Like, how are you making that as simple as possible for them?
Right. I feel like you could, a partner could come to me with a personalized video and I still it wouldn't matter that the video was personalized if they didn't have all this information up front. Like, I want to see, yes, you're doing that work to make me the video, to make me notice, but what is the actual task that we're trying to complete here? Right. Because at the end of the day, like, I got to do work here, and if you make it easy for me to say, oh, all right, like this is what you want and this is how it's going to be benefiting the both of us, and here's why you think it's going to be successful. I don't have to do a bunch of research around like, what your customer number is, how you talk to your customers, what your voice is, blah, blah, blah. Like, you have it ready for me, then that is going to seal the deal for sure.
I think that's important, like Patrick, too. Like, if your ICP is a marketer, like from like how marketers talk to other marketers is like, we know your schedule sucks and we know that we're asking something from you. And that's why like the first time I ever got like a Calendly or a Chili Piper like invite, I was like, oh, I don't have to do this BS back and forth of like, what's a good time for you? What's a good time for me? It's like, now I get to self-serve, kind of like that product-led growth stuff we were talking about last time, where people that just want to, a lot of times marketers just want to do things themselves and have things done for them and not really have to think too hard and work too hard. And I think most people are just like that in general. So my next question for you is switching gears a little bit. Tell us about, in your personal life, something that you purchased at some point that you had a very memorable sales experience where you bought something in your personal life, whether it was good or bad.
Yeah, I guess I have a couple. So maybe a positive experience. I bought a really, really nice like wine print on Etsy recently. I love Etsy. It's actually like an issue. But I bought this print. It was amazing. I loved it. It asked me for a review. I reviewed 5 stars. I put it in. And then the seller reached out to me and said, hey, I noticed you reviewed 4 stars, which I guess I must have. Like, it was just so quick that I thought I hit 5, but I guess I hit 4. And she was like, I saw your review, let me know if there's anything I can do. Like, what happened? Was there an issue with shipping? Like, yada, yada. And she sent it the same exact day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I must have, it was quick. Like, I must have hit 4 when I really meant 5. Like, I'm going to go and change my review. And it was just such a nice experience for even 4 stars. Like, 4 stars is good, for someone to reach out right away and say, hey, I noticed, is there anything I can do? Which for me is meaningful, coming out of like, this is an individual. But then I had a really negative experience recently, and I'm not going to say the name of the company because I don't want to bash them, but I ordered a humidifier like in January because I saw a TikTok about, I'm like on TikTok, I love TikTok, but I saw a TikTok about dry skin, and people are like, oh, you need humidifiers, so they totally sold me. The amount of stuff that I bought because of TikTok is like problematic. But I was like, all right, dude, like I'll buy a humidifier. I went to buy it. It said it was going to be shipped in 2 weeks. I was like, can't wait for my new humidifier and my like glowing skin. Nothing happened. Didn't get it. Got a notification that it was going to be late. And then a notification, which I was like, all right, COVID, like it's going to be late, not a problem. And then I got a notification that said it wasn't going to arrive until April. And I was like, wow, you know what? This sucks, because what you could have done, what they did was they said, it's not going to be here until April, but we'll refund you $7 in filters. I was like, okay, this sucks. Like, the better experience here would have been to email me and say, hey, we're running late. We're having problems manufacturing. We're having issues with shipping, whatever the situation is. Like, it's going to come in April. We're really sorry. Do you want a refund on your product, or like, what do you want, or whatever it is, instead of saying, oh, it's coming, like we already refunded you this like shitty $7. So that part is, I mean, I think it's a story of like customer communication.
Yeah.
Right. And like valuing your customer.
Let's go back to that TikTok for a minute. First of all, Patrick and I send each other TikToks on the daily. So I might have to start sending some to you. One of which I saw was this crazy person who put all their plants in their bathtub and turned on the shower and like gave them like a plant humidifier. And I was like, I actually was like, maybe I should do that. But why do you think people, because I'm guilty of this too, like I see these hacks, I see these like, my fiance is huge on like cleaning hacks and finding better ways to like clean our house. Like, the grout on our tile turned the wrong color, and it's kind of gross when you look at it and you're like, how do I clean that? So why do you think, you said earlier, like, oh, I bought so much stupid stuff off of TikTok, like TikTok made me buy it, is kind of like a trend?
I think that's just like
what
the
is
language.
It about? What is it about? Is it that like it's a third party person?
Man.
Yeah.
What, the KFC? Remember? Like I literally have been getting these videos for KFC Nashville Hot chicken tenders every day, 3 times. It's just people eating in their car, and I'm like, fuck, I'm so hungry. I need some of those. And then the other day, I just drove past the KFC, and I was like, TikTok made me do it. I'm going in there, and I'm getting some tenders. And I gave them to you, Travis. And that's the best thing ever, right? Like, those are incredible. Scarf down.
They were so greasy, dude.
That's so gross. I'm sorry.
It's disgusting. And TikTok made us do it.
I think that it's not new, right? I think I hear a lot of people talking about like, oh, why is TikTok so popular in like getting people to buy this stuff? I don't think that it's new. It's the same thing as like YouTube unboxings and YouTube like reviews, right? When YouTube first came up and all these people started reviewing products, people were suddenly like, oh, this is like a real person who's unaffiliated, who's telling me their opinion, and I'm going to trust this person rather than going onto the brand and like seeing the brand content. So I don't think that it's necessarily different. It's just such a easier, quicker platform to get that information. Does this person like it or not? Like here you can see their entire, they bought a new makeup thing and you can see like from start to finish what it looks like, right? In like a quick, easy hit.
So you are a sommelier. That is like your I think it's like a side hustle, a side business that you do, a passion project of sorts as well. I saw a TikTok that this guy reviews. What are the?
Oh my god, I'm about to rant at you so hard right now. what is the question?
It's not a review of wine. I won't go down that path. It's more like funny. He's not. Yeah. He knows. I think he knows what he's talking about. What are the boards that you have with all the snacks? Charcuterie
boards. Yeah.
Okay. He calls himself like Mr. I think it's like Mr. Board, and he reviews and he goes on there. He's like a New Yorker, and he's just like, "Oh, what is this? What is this? You got Costco cheese here? Yeah, you think I'm gonna go to a party and be excited about your like massive amounts of cheese here? You didn't even get something special for me? Oh, look at this! You don't put. Why would you have grapes that close to the hummus? And it's like hysterical. But yeah, like I think there's a way with TikTok when you're like as a brand to think about it, like having people review it quickly, and like Patrick and I have talked about this before, like the way our brains process visualizations, we can process and comprehend what it is that we're looking at way faster than with words. And I think that's part of like why TikTok made me buy it, is I'm like seeing somebody do it super quickly. They do it in like 10 seconds. I'm like, oh, holy crap. That solves my problem. That's like, I have that problem. That's exactly what I need.
Yeah, absolutely.
My final question for you is, Patrick and I always like to talk with folks about their like passion projects, their side hustles. What makes yours special to you?
So I'm a sommelier and a wine consultant. So I teach wine classes, which are really fun. I write a wine newsletter that comes out every week called The Fizz, CTA. Sign up. But it is special.
I'm going to pitch it to my engagement marketing team. We have like 15 people, and this could be something really fun for us to do. So stay tuned and hit up Margot, find her on LinkedIn. I'm going to do a quick blast and shout out for you. Yeah, like go hit up her business.
It's fun. It's really meaningful for me because wine is something that I've been really excited about since I was pretty young. Like I grew up drinking wine. I come from a Jewish family, and we drank wine every, Shabbos, and it was horrible. Like I thought wine was disgusting. And then I moved to Oregon and started really drinking wine and like getting excited about it and traveling and going to visit vineyards and stuff like that. And it's meaningful for me to have this really deep passion outside of my like regular 9 to 5, which is what's exciting about it is like the work that I do at HubSpot is incredibly logical and very intellectually challenging and really interesting in the like, I'm always on the cutting edge or whatever it is, right? With marketing and with brands, which is awesome. And then on this other side, I have the like creative and this like deeply human cultural passion, which both help me in different ways.
That's so cool. I don't necessarily have a passion project outside of work. I do pour a lot of my energy into hobbies though. Right. So I think it's important that whatever it is that your side hustle is, and Patrick, I want to hear from you too on this, but it gives you something that your work doesn't. Like sometimes I think people make the mistake of thinking like, I do podcasting for PandaDoc and I do videos for PandaDoc, so maybe I should do podcasting and videoing in my spare time. No, right. I'm already doing that at work. I play ice hockey. I play ice hockey 2 nights a week with men who have really bad tempers in a beer league and who are washed up and suck at ice hockey, but we have fun, and it's this part that I don't get out of work. It's like highly competitive and like aggressive, and that's something for me. But Patrick, I know you talk about this a lot with people, so curious what you think.
Yeah, it kind of sucks because mine is sort of work tangential. I run the 5 on Friday thing, and I run a YouTube channel, and I do like a lot of editing. And early pandemic, I spent like 6 hours a day editing, and it pretty much saved my brain because it's just such a good way to zone out. And then at the end, it's like, oh, I have this thing now. Cool, I made a thing, which is nice.
But I think it is somewhat tangential to your work, but it's different in the sense that you're not doing you're a sales and training enablement manager right now, and that's you're training folks in sales, which is, yes, you're training folks in sales with your podcast, but it's a little different because you're doing the creative side.
It's a little different. It's a little different. And yeah, like being able to run the channel and all that and the social media is fun. But on the side, I also write poetry. Look me up, Patrick Downs on Medium, which is the complete opposite.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love that.
My relationship with wine is that I get drunk and write poetry.
Hey,
so not as much of a sommelier, but
whatever works for you.
It worked for the New Yorks. Oh man! But you guys should check out the poetry. Maybe we'll do a live reading.
That would be fun. Cool. That might be fun, actually. Margot, I am serious about bringing you in to do a fun wine tasting with my team. But where can folks find you? How can we help you with the show and promoting you?
Let's see. That's an interesting question. Well, you could always sign up for my wine newsletter and book me for your wine tastings, just like you're saying, which is my joy to do. They're super fun and super casual.
It's Rebel Wine Bar?
No, so I'm actually doing it on my own.
Okay.
So they're my own classes. You can just go to my website, which is margotmazur.com, and check everything out there.
Awesome. So cool. I am going to book something for me and my team once I get the authorization to do that. But thank you so much. I can't believe we did it in 30 minutes. This was fun. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Always nice talking to y'all.
Good to meet you, Margot. Good luck with the wine.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Thanks for hanging out with us today on the Customer Engagement Lab. For more of Travis and Patrick's chaotic energy, subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast player. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, you would make our hearts smile if you left a super quick rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the show deserves. It'll take you 2 seconds, I promise. Till next time.